of startups look out for funding, and one great source of funding they've failed to see is the government schemes. The government has made so much of money available for startup ecosystem. How do you think startups should approach that source of funding? And such a large source of funds actually, and probably available at a cheap credit or no credit at all as a grant, property in many cases.
Absolutely, Rajveer. Let me give you the latest example. Government of India announced very recently Startup India Seed Fund of rupees 1,000 crores. This fund is being given to two categories of people. One who are at a very early stage. Uh, it's then a grant money. Typically, the grant can be a maximum of 30 lakh rupees to help you develop your innovation and go to market. And second is convertible CCD, convertible debentures, convertible debentures, which is to extent of 50 lakh rupees being given. But government does not trust to give this to directly to the startups, to the private sectors. They will always partner with either a non-government organization or institute, preferably the IITs or other engineering institute, or they would even go through certain government bodies. So this is just one example. I am on the jury of three of these partnerships with Startup India Seed Fund, one for the biotech with Regional Center of Biotechnology, which is located in Faridabad, one is Chitkara University in Punjab, and I'm also involved with IIT Delhi. So if you look at these funds, it's a revolving fund of 10 crores given to them every year with a maximum of 20 crores to each institute. And they're trying to spread this 1,000 crores possibly to close to 100 organizations in the country so that nobody gets more than 20 crores, some get 10 crores or even less. And all the jury members, and as I'm jury to one of these three organizations, all the jury members are 50% from external and 50% from internal. And whether they have incubators or accelerators, it doesn't matter. They just want to make sure that the organization is there to support them either through the institute's R&D support or through faculty members or others. So this is just one example. Similarly, there are, I would say, no less than 50,000 crores available today as I talk, not yet distributed funds from various state governments, central government schemes. A lot of it came for the COVID-related innovations in the last 2 years, but now it's all available in sectors ranging from agri to environment to mobility to EV to healthcare, and even in the area of automation or the latest technologies of the world, including AI, MLs, etc. The other area which you should not forget is the corporate funds. So when you talk about, I'm right now extremely busy, and one of the reasons I've been working 8 hours a day is on the Samsung Solve for Future. This is a global challenge they have where they want youngsters to think of what innovations can be built for 2030 onwards to solve the problems, whether it is for healthcare, whether it is for technology, whether it is for product, or whether it is for a service. And Samsung is just one example. I know many other organizations, including those in India, Indian corporates, and the kind of budget they have is not less. They give to the top three 1 crore each. They give mentoring support. They help in almost 1 year to build up. So I would say if you are lucky to win any of these awards, you can easily get up to 1 crore plus grants. And if it's Government of India, it's like 30 to 50 lakh grants. And I would say at least 5,000 companies in the startup ecosystem, if they have something genuine to talk about, can come and win these awards.
Yeah, no, absolutely fascinating. More I learn about this, Ajay, more I get motivated, and I'm sure startups are probably aware of various opportunities. But what's the best place to find information about these? Because finding information about the government schemes can be very challenging.
You're absolutely right. I mean, there is no consolidated central repository of information. One area to look at is some of the information may be available with the Startup India, which is part of the Government of India under the Department of DPIT. Uh, Second area which you can also look at is some of the well-known institutions. So, for example, iMentors Foundation is very actively involved with IIT Delhi. So, I would say IIT Delhi would have, to the best of my knowledge, information on many of these. May not be all, but many of these. So they may not be actively involved with all of them, but they'll at least have information on what's available. So FIT would have at least 50% of that information. And you can try and look at it from various organizations, including even there is another area to look at, not necessarily funding for truly startup, but I call them small and medium enterprises. So there is a department and ministry which has a lot of budget available to fund, and some of these are grant monies also. People think grant is not available; they are available in whole of Northeast India. There's another program I'm doing, jury. This is with IIM Ahmedabad. This is CIIE, and this program is for the Assam government, and we are trying to help agri industries to get grant money and funding to help them improve their livelihood and entrepreneurship model. So again, even today I was working on some of their applications.
So what you're saying is maybe start by looking at Startup India website, and then maybe look at regional incubation centers. Maybe if you are in somewhere in Gujarat, look at Ahmedabad. If you're in Assam, maybe look at, well, Ahmedabad is really not there, but maybe IIT Guwahati also has a program. Maybe one could look at IIT Guwahati's incubation program, and look for local government supported incubation programs. Is Atal Incubation Cell, is that also a good source of information? Are Atal Incubation
Not
Cells
necessarily.
not necessarily? Okay. Thank you so much again, Ajay. Really appreciate your time, and look forward to your support once again. Appreciate that. Take care. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you
Have a
very
good
much.
day.
All the best. Bye bye.